1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro, Northwest Lake County. Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. Thank you all for listening. Recording here once again on Center Street. I always look over my left shoulder when I say like I don't know where I'm at. We are at Bellevue Studios. My good friend Kristen lets us record here. So Kristen, shout out to her. If you guys are looking for any photography, from family portraits to wedding photography, senior portraits, I know those are coming up right now too. So give Bellevue a try. Kristen's been a dear friend of mine for a long time, and we couldn't do this without her. So thank you. So today I'm with Beth Short. We were at high school together. Right?
We did go to high school together. Yep.
And we were fudgies.
Yes.
Yes. And you're
I'm a little younger than you.
Right. We're not going to say how much because people know how old I am. You don't want to divulge.
That's okay.
But it's kind of fun to see how things come together and how we end up getting to sit here today. Mm-hmm. And I really, folks that are listening today, I know we cover a lot of different things, but today is one of those days I really want you to take action on what we're talking about, whether it's through coming to an event or just changing and tweaking maybe the way you live a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So Beth, let's talk about the event that I have in front of me because people are sick of me talking. So if you just introduce yourself, a little bit about you and why we're here today.
Sure thing. Well, I appreciate you giving me the space and the time to do this.
Of course.
We, as a family, we organize an event every spring, every April, that honors my son, Gavin. I should say our son, my husband, Alan, and I. Gavin is our oldest son. He was born in 2002. He passed away 4 years ago, April 29th of 22, in a car accident. And he is an Eagle Scout. So part of his life's mission is to do acts of cheerful service. That's part of the oath that they take as part of the Order of the Arrow in Scouts. And he is unable to fulfill that in his life. So we have taken it up as a family, as our responsibility and our mantle going forward is to do acts of cheerful service in his honor. So I
love it.
Thank you. On Saturday, April 25th, our family has organized 2 events. We're going to be at Feed My Starving Children in the morning. We do that every year because Feed My Starving Children can accommodate such a large group. And so we're going to be there from 9 to 10:45. In between, we have a little fundraiser at Wendy's, actually, for the Boy Scout troop. I shouldn't say Boy Scouts, sorry.
I know, Scouts.
Scout
right?
troop, yes.
I get in trouble all the time.
It happens to be an all-boy troop, so in this instance it is. At the Wendy's that's in Libertyville, and then continuing on in the afternoon from 1 until 4-ish, we're helping out the Wildwood Park District at 2 different parks to help do a little spring rejuvenation for them.
Fun.
The Wildwood Park District also happens to be the sponsor organization for our Scout troop. So it's kind of a win-win that we're doing that service back for them.
I love it. Mm-hmm. And we always talk that, acts of service are one of the biggest things. And for you to take losing your son and
Carmina, because I think the first time we talked, I always put my foot in my mouth, of course. I'm like, well, so do you need help raising money? And you're like, we're not raising money.
Nope, not looking to raise any money.
Right. We're looking for a little volunteerism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we always talk to do something nice, right? And kindness and getting out and doing things, because those things really make a difference. And when you get to volunteer, too, you're usually surrounded by a lot of people with like-minded, right?
100%. Absolutely true.
And it's a good way to connect, right? The connection, especially these days, is so, so very important.
Absolutely. And sometimes people will say to me, well, I don't know him, or I didn't know him. And I'm like, that's okay. You're talking to me now. We're having this connection right now. We're having this moment of connection together. So let's do something positive together. It doesn't matter that you didn't meet Gavin while he was here. You can still share that spirit with all of us at the same time in that day.
Absolutely. I also like that you speak with Gavin and you use present tense, like you say Gavin is.
Yes. I am of the belief that Gavin hasn't changed. I am of the belief that Gavin is still the same person he was on April 29th of 22. I don't think that his spirit has changed. I don't think that his personality has changed. So, yes, it helps me to feel that he's still here with me when I do speak of him in the present tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been surrounded by a lot of loss as well, so it's always nice to hear that, because they are still with us, right?
Yeah.
A couple of people I talked to, they said, you lost that person. They're like, you did not lose them.
Yeah.
Everything that you have is still here. They're just not physically here.
Yeah.
But the lessons and the it's because it's called a day of cheerful service.
Absolutely.
Right? Wonderful.
Yeah, we show up with smiles on our faces, and I'll be honest with you. So his anniversary of his passing is April 29th. And so we try to do the event on around, the weekend nearby. And some people have said to me, well, I don't know how you can do that. And I'm like, it gives me something to look forward to. There's this event, there's this anniversary, and there's, of course, I take that day off of work and I stay home and I spend time with my family. But doing this event gives me something to look forward to, something to plan for, something to keep my mind busy. And also the fact that we do something that benefits people on the other side of the world, as well as people in our backyard. That is amazing to me. So because he is the one who inspires it, I'll take that.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Right. And anybody who has not been to Feed My Starving Children, like talking about making an impact, you bring, like, how many folks do you bring there? Well,
we have the whole session reserved, which is 180 spots, and sometimes we fill it up completely.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a lot of bodies.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And the good that you do, because my favorite thing about that is when you get done and if you have 180 people showing how many meals are packed and those are going off, like, it's really cool to see. And I think it's really cool for younger people, or a good way to get into the spirit of giving and knowing that everybody can make a difference just with a little bit, right? Absolutely. And the fact that they take kids as young as 5 years old, and then they'll take people up to any age or physical ability. You can still sit at a table and put on labels. Yeah, and I'm sure that you need, somebody there to boss people around too. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's always slots for them. That's not me. No. I didn't even allude to that. Yeah. No, they do. There's a gentleman there who, his name is escaping me at the moment, and I'm embarrassed about that. But he is also an Eagle Scout, and so he's always thrilled when our family comes in. And even if we don't come in for the day of service and we just volunteer at other times, he always comes up and gives me a hug and says hi, because he's really proud of what our family does too. So let's tell everybody in Grayslake, like, as we listen to this, about your family. Because did you grow up here? You've lived here quite a while. I grew up in Waukegan. Gotcha. So I grew up in Waukegan, went to Carmel along with some of my sisters, and I ended up going to school at Marquette, and came back here briefly, and then went to Kenosha, met my future husband. Followed him up to Madison, which I loved. So we got married and we lived in Madison for a little while, for a couple of years. Then my father got really sick, and I would spend my weekends driving to Waukegan, and then I would go back to Madison on the weekends. And I would cry when I left Madison. I'd cry when I left Waukegan. And I told my husband I wanted to move back down here. Yeah. And he's from Kenosha, so we were a lot closer to his family too. We're taking a quick break just to say hello, because everybody knows Nano.
And Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people. Looking for a place where there's always something happening? Welcome to the Grayslake Village Center. Whether you're planning a family outing, a date night, or a fun night out with friends, the Village Center has something for everyone, year-round. Enjoy a fantastic mix of restaurants, unique retail shops, and exciting events that bring the community together. And just steps away, you'll find Central and Gelatin Parks, home of the library, aquatic center, skate park, senior center, and numerous recreational opportunities. Whew, that's a mouthful. So if you're looking for something to do, come explore, dine, shop, and play right here in the heart of Grayslake. Find out more at grayslakevillagescenter.com. And go check them out on social media and give them a like, give them a follow.
So we made that journey, and then I got pregnant with Gavin the next year. And it was great because he got to meet at least two out of my three. My dad got to meet two out of my three kids before he passed away. But it's been great to grow up near family. Yes. Most of my siblings are nearby. I'm the youngest of five. I'm the baby. I'm the oops. So it's nice to have a lot of family around and support. So Gavin's journey was a little bit challenging. When he was born, of course, he's like my first child and everything is perfect, and I stayed home and all that time together, but he wasn't developing, like hitting those typical milestones. Mm-hmm. So when he was, 1.5 or so, we did speech therapy, and then they recommended occupational therapy. And then when he was 3, we got a diagnosis of autism. And so he and we worked really hard we got him into school young, and there was an autism consultant for the Woodland School District at the time. And I got to give a shout out to Vicki Holland. If she ever hears this, she's our savior. She's retired now, but the district, she did so much good for so many families. And she really helped to guide us to recognize that the autism diagnosis wasn't like something written in stone and like, these are the things your kid will do and these are the things your kid won't do and these are the limitations. For her, it was like, okay, yeah, we got a diagnosis that gets us some help, and now let's work on some of these things and see where we go. So Gavin was in elementary school, it was very clear that he was a math brain. He was all about math and numbers, and he could remember like everything. We called him our walking Rolodex because he would remember like all of the like store hours and addresses and phone numbers. I remember one of my friends would say that when he saw her, he would refer to her as her address number. He wouldn't say, there's Ann. He would say, there's 482 or whatever her address.
Really?
Yeah, it was so weird how he would think in numbers all the time. But he did great. He came up through Woodland. In the process, we had 2 other kids behind him. So there's about 3 years difference between Gavin and Evan, and then it's almost 10 years between him and Devin. So it's a big age gap on that one.
Yeah.
But we went through the Woodland School District, and then he went to Central. Mm-hmm. And at Central, he was on the marching band. He played trombone. He was on the math team, of course.
I was going to say math.
Yeah, had to be the math team. And he was on the academic team. And through high school, it was kind of like, what do you do with numbers, right? What kind of a degree do you think you might get? What kind of future do you think you might have? And it was really never in question that he would go to college, because his autism was really just kind of about social awkwardness. Okay. He was very loud. He didn't seem to have a whole lot of control over his own conversational voice. And so it was a constant like, okay, Gavin, you're really loud. Okay, Gavin, be quiet. Okay, Gavin, we got it. He had a really hard time asking questions of people. If he needed to ask you a question, he would kind of come up and kind of hover. Maybe he would hum a little bit and kind of make some sounds so that you would know that he needed something. Mm-hmm. So often it would be like, oh, Gavin, what could I do for you? And then he could ask the question. So just kind of some social awkwardness was really the extent of his autism. So for him, we tried to focus on the positives of autism. We started talking about it by the time he was 6 years old and said, you know how you remember things really well? My brain doesn't work like that. Do you know how you can do math in your head all the time? My brain doesn't work like that. But he found his strength in organization and preparedness. He would go to the math, the MARC at the high school to tutor other kids in math because he could do it all. He didn't have any problems with any of it. Right. And he was really good at kind of visualizing where someone made a mistake, picking up where they made the mistake, and then carrying them through to the end of a problem. I wish I could do that.
I wish I could do an ounce of that.
I know, it's amazing. Great. So we started to talk about, what kind of careers might you be interested in, and from about 5th grade on, there was a Hurricane Sandy happened out on the East Coast, and then Gavin found out about the Weather Channel, where you could watch weather like all day long, and so he kind of became glued to that. Well, during high school, we kind of made the connection that meteorology is all math and physics. Well, what's his knack? Math and physics. You pair it with his passion, and it was meteorology. And so junior year in high school, we started, taking tours of colleges, and he really focused in on the ones that had good meteorology programs, which U of I, by the way, is one of the really good ones.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're like 3rd or 4th in the country. I should call it atmospheric science.
Atmospheric science, of course.
Atmospheric science.
I was going to correct you.
So I said, well, wherever you go, I want you within a 12-hour drive. Because if there's anything that happens with the autism and we have a meltdown of some kind, I want to be able to have a 12-hour drive to come get you. So we eventually visited the University of Oklahoma, which, by the way, is 13 and a half hours away.
Not following the rules. He's good at math. That's an extra.
But that's where the National Weather Center is. Okay. And so the meteorology students take their meteorology classes inside the National Weather Center. And I'm not a math and science person, but I was blown away.
Yeah, what a wonderful opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I was blown away when we walked into that building. It was hotter than hell. It was July in Oklahoma, and I said, there's no way. There's no way he's going to want to stay down here. But when senior year was the COVID year.
Oh, yes.
So after, March 13th or whatever, he never went back to high school after that. Right. So he narrowed down his choices, and U of I was number 2, and University of Oklahoma was number 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So obviously then accepted there and get University of Oklahoma.
Got a great scholarship. I mean, he was doing fantastic, academically. Academics were never an issue. It was only social concerns for him.
Did that cause any play? Did he know anybody going there?
Nope. He didn't know anybody.
Okay. So here's mom at home, watched him go 13 hours away.
Yeah. That was rough.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew. When I went with him to the campus and we saw the facilities that the kids would be involved in, and I knew. I mean, how can you say no to that?
No, yeah, and to let him do what he wants. So
and he got a better scholarship at Oklahoma than
wow. Okay, well that's even better.
Even better.
So then what year was that? That was
2020.
It was 2020. Okay.
Yep. So he was the COVID class of 2020. So we took him down there, and he, of course, and he's our oldest, right? So it's really hard to make that separation. And many of the kids stayed home that first semester. They did classes remotely. So I like to say that COVID, Gavin was one of the only kids for whom COVID was a good thing, because he got to meet people online before he met them in person. So his little behavioral oddities.
It helped him.
Yeah, because they knew him as a really organized person, and he had all the information that people needed, and he was really helpful with classes. I think I went down for Parents Weekend that first fall, and I met one of his friends, and that friend said, "Oh, he saved my ass in chemistry." He is the only reason I passed that class.
Really?
And that was not the only person I heard that from over the years, believe me. But it was, all the kids in meteorology, for the most part, they're super smart. It's all math and science. They call it sky math. And so they're all very cerebral kids. So for Gavin to have some kind of behavioral oddities wasn't that far from the norm.
Sure.
Because they're all very book smart kids in that field. So he found his people.
That's fantastic.
I told them later on, I'm like, he found his freaks and geeks. They renamed their group chat to Freaks and Geeks for a while anyway. So he had a great time. He loved it. I think there were some challenges socially, for sure, but he had such a really supportive group of friends, pretty much all of whom I think were the meteorology kids. And they really helped him through some more challenging times.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave.
It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
I'm going to give a shout out to his friend Lee if she ever hears this, because she ended up having some mental health challenges. I'm not divulging anything that's not common knowledge with Lee. And that's when Gavin kind of said, well, I have autism, and this is when I was diagnosed, and they kind of bonded over that too. So it was really nice for him to be able to actually speak out loud, to know that he spoke about his challenges too, and that he found people that were supportive enough to help him work through all that.
Yeah, isn't it fun how people are just brought into your life that actually can just do that, right?
Absolutely.
Those two probably, I'm sure it helped both of them.
Absolutely. And Lee was completely different from Gavin. Lee is very outspoken and outgoing, and Gavin is, it's not that he's wasn't quiet, but just that social awkwardness, and Lee kind of helped pull him out of his shell with that too. Yeah. So that's pretty cool to see.
It is.
But he came home in the summer between freshman and sophomore year. He was doing research as an undergrad, and he was really proud of himself for that. Went back for his sophomore year in college, and there was a lot of storm chasing, as you might expect.
Out there too, right?
Yeah, down in Oklahoma, it is a hobby. Right. So there were weekends where the kids would make plans to go storm chasing. And, he went back for his second semester, his sophomore year, was doing great in school because he had no more English classes. All he had for the rest of his college career was math and science. So he was in his element. He came home over spring break in 22, and he actually finished all of the assignments for one of his classes. Just for fun, just to get it over with.
Knock those out, right?
More time for storm chasing on the weekends. So that was actually the last time that he was home, was spring break of 22. And I like to share, too, that the picture that I have on the flyer for this year's Day of Service is actually at Tasty Freeze.
I saw that.
Yep. That's one of the last pictures we took of him while he was home, because he couldn't come home and not go to Tasty Freeze if it was open.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a rule.
Yeah, and I love that you still call it Tasty Freeze, because I do too.
Yeah, same. Oh, yeah. For sure. Old school.
Yeah, the picture is awesome, and look at how happy he is there. He's such wow.
And forever in his Oklahoma sweatshirt too. He wore that
he did.
all the time.
Really?
Yeah. So he went back to school, and I talked to him on April 28th. He would video call me once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to catch up. And I remember I had to get off the call with him pretty quick because my middle son had an AP psych exam, and he wanted me to do flashcards with him. So I had to cut my conversation with Gavin short. Oh, I had to cut the conversation short with Gavin, not Gavin Short.
Right.
Yeah. so the next day we knew that he was going storm chasing, and the last text that my husband sent him was like a meme of like the Wizard of Oz and Toto and like, don't let the house fall on you or something like that. And the last message we got back from Gavin was, ha ha, we'll try not to. And so they had driven up to Kansas and did some storm chasing up there. So he was with his friends, Nick and Drake, and they ended up catching a tornado. We have a video of the tornado being born. And for his friend Drake, it was his first tornado that he had ever caught. Yeah. And so to be able to hear Drake's voice on the video is just astounding. Yeah. It was amazing. And then they caught this tornado, and some other kids from OU had gone storm chasing too, but were in different cars. And they were headed back to campus, and it was raining. I think they hit some hail. So they pulled over, and Drake, being such a good boy, called his mom, Tammy, and his dad, Doug. And Tammy is a worrier, and she's like, are you okay? Do you need to get a hotel? Are you all right? And he's like, no, Mom, I'm great. This was the best night of my life. And 40 minutes later, all three of them were gone. They had they had hydroplaned in their car, and it had broken down across both lanes of the highway, dark highway in Oklahoma, and they were hit by a truck. Yeah. And so it's my belief that they were gone in an instant, and I don't think that they ever knew what was coming. And that's what I'll live with for the rest of my life. And we found out the next morning from the local police. Spent the next day trying to get information from Oklahoma, which of course they were on scene still. So it took several hours for anybody down there to get back to us. And, as heartbreaking as it is for what we have gone through and continue to go through as a family, I also think about the friends at OU, that all of them lost 3 friends in one moment. Yes. And so, of course, the tears are coming now, of course. But I think about not only what we've been through, but what all those kids went through. Yes. And I don't know. If I had lost 3 friends when I was 19, Dave, I think that would have been all of my friends. Yeah. And I don't know that I could have gotten through that. And they were so supportive of our family and the other 2 families as well. And I give those kids a lot of credit. Yeah. A lot of credit. And I shouldn't even call them kids anymore. They're all adults and, off with careers or, grad school and things like that. I saw one of them recently announce that she's going for her PhD now. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I'm jealous and I'm very happy at the same time.
Yes.
But it was a lot. It was a lot for us to go through. We had to go, tell all of our family members and everything. And those are some of those memories that you can't get that out of your head. And we went to Drake's service about a week after, which was in Indiana. Then we drove to Oklahoma, where all the kids had a memorial service, and the school did a program for all the boys, which was lovely, really heartwarming to see how the community came together. And then we cleaned out his apartment and drove home from Oklahoma and planned his service here. And then we flew to Texas and went for Nick's service, flew home, and then had Gavin's service here. So it was like 3 weeks of just everything, all the planning and all the services. And I don't like to use the F word, so I just say service. I don't like the...
Yes, I understand.
I don't like the other word because it feels very final.
No, but I do like service, though. Okay, so your life then, you're going back and forth, and I love that you're being supportive to the other families because
Absolutely.
Those boys are obviously very good friends. You got to share some awesome moments together, especially watching that video must be really cool. They're getting their first tornado. And
it's amazing. And we didn't get that. We didn't get his phone back until a couple months later. So we weren't able to download his photos or anything until we got him on our Wi-Fi. So that was a while, but it was really, sometimes I just look at him just to look at him and watch him. And And I didn't even know that on phones now, when you take pictures, it actually takes a short video when you're taking pictures. So there's stuff that I can hear in their voices now that I didn't even know was there a couple of years ago.
Because like live photos.
Yeah. So it's been really, it's almost like they're still there, like forever in that moment.
Right.
And I
doing
love it.
what they really loved, right? And that how exciting that must have been for 3 young boys traveling across there.
Absolutely.
Like, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. And, I think about it sometimes, when people talk to me about what we've been through and losing Gavin so young, and no doubt it's awful, but I'm also really proud of the fact that he was so happy at that time. He found his people, he found his passion, and some of us go through our whole lives and don't find that. And I feel that that's something that gives me some peace and some comfort, is that he had that.
Yes.
Man, what a gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right that people go forever searching for that thing that really truly makes them happy. And it sounds like he found that. And he found the right crew to hang out with that absolutely loves that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the joy that, surrounding that, it's nice that I like when people have stuff where we honor, right? Where we honor the life, the spirit, and like you were talking about with Scouts, right? So a lot of that is because he was an Eagle Scout, as you said.
Yes, he is an Eagle Scout.
He is an Eagle Scout. I'm sorry, no, but that is based on service and helping people and being a great human, right?
Yeah, the cool thing too with Gavin's Eagle Scout, he was such a good organizer in his time, and Gavin did a great job of organizing people. The Eagle Scout project he had, just to digress for a moment,
no, fine.
was really like 3 Eagle Scout projects in one. So his benefactor that coordinated it with him, his name is Quinn O'Brien. He wanted this walking trail rejuvenated in Heather Ridge. And so it was this broken down old trail. And so Gavin, not only did he revitalize the trail, we also rebuilt some of the benches that were along the trail. But Quinn's big thing was this, to have a seating area at the front of the front head of the trail, and with a little library in it. So not only did Gavin rejuvenate the trail, rebuild benches, make a seating area, and a little library, he ended up having, I think it was almost 500 volunteer hours and over 100 people volunteering in total. And so it was, for an Eagle project, it was huge. And it was at the beginning of senior year. Of course, he's taking like 4 AP classes and he's doing marching band. And by the time he was done, he was done. Like, he was like, I'm over this now. But he finished it, and it still gets accolades today. And after the accident happened, Quinn, like I said, the benefactor, he went and put up a sign that says Gavin's Corner, and I think there's like a little angel or a bird on it, I think. And so it's now forever officially known as Gavin's Corner.
I love that.
Yeah. It was unofficial before, but now it's official.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah. So he became an Eagle Scout. He was awarded his Eagle in 2020 in the spring. And because of COVID, we didn't get to have a court of honor for him until the summer of 21.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so glad we did that, because before that, he didn't have like his Eagle neckerchief and pennant. And so he was able to get that. And so we literally have 2 pictures of him in his Eagle uniform. So it's frustrating that we don't have more. But he was no longer a scout at that point, because he had aged out. But we at least got some pictures of him in that.
Well, yeah. So is that why, with like the walking trail and all of that, and that's why this is like with the Park District of Wildwood, is this why it's like a park rejuvenation thing?
Yeah, so
that goes along with that?
2 separate areas. His Eagle project was in Heather Ridge. And actually the first time we did a day of service, we as a group went and did some rejuvenation at that walking trail. That was one of the things that we did that day. But no, this one is just through the Wildwood Park District, so separate events, but still, this is, for the afternoon this year, it's going to be more like trimming down, things that are overgrown and cleaning up garbage, and maybe doing some maybe some trail work, but it's really just more like cleaning up of everything and getting it ready for everybody for the summer.
That's awesome. So somebody that wants to come to that, we want them to sign up, right?
Yes, that would be the best thing.
And I love your play on words with your last name and everything.
I know.
'Cause I looked at it first and I went, "Is this really say the shortpeople.com /Gavin?"
Yep.
So that's how you want people to sign up.
Yes.
Is they are going to, and I'll put the link in the show notes here for you guys too. But it is theshortpeople.com /Gavin.
Yep. Even if you just go to theshortpeople.com, it'll take you there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the only information we have on that website now. But it's 2 separate sign-ups. The first sign-up, like I said, for the morning is for Feed My Starving Children. So that link will take you directly to the Feed My Starving Children website. And then there'll be a separate sign-up genius for the Wildwood Park District. Okay. And the Wildwood Park District has 2 different parks that we're going to be working at. Yeah. So our family is going to be split up between the 2 parks, and if we finish at one, we'll go help at the other. And I don't want people to be scared off by it being from 1 to 4 p.m. If someone can only come for an hour, that's totally fine. The park district will have some water and some snacks and some equipment. But it does talk about some of the details on the website, but people are recommended to bring maybe some gloves, or they have loppers and things like that that they can use outside. But all of it's on theshortpeople.com to do that. And if anybody has any problems with signing up, or if it's too many clicks and they don't want to deal with it, they can just send us an email through there too. And we'll just sign them up ourselves.
Nice. And we're going to make sure that we have those in there for anybody that wants to get a hold of it.
Yeah.
I want to encourage people to do this because I think about, we were talking about connection and, and people that just don't have a good, support system, or if you're just looking to meet new people while doing something good, because there's nothing bad that comes out of a day of service, right?
Absolutely not.
So you don't need to know the Short family. You just need to be willing and to get out there. So get it and sign up. And so let's say if I had 10 people that I want to bring to Feed My Starving Children, I don't need to know anything else, but I'm going through your link and I'm signing up with your party.
Exactly. And yeah, sometimes it confuses people because they'll go to the Feed My Starving Children website and they'll be like, oh, all the spots are taken. Well, yeah, because I blocked them all.
Okay.
So it does have to go through our link, or send me an email, and I can certainly get people signed up. And our email information is on the website too. And yeah, all it takes is a willing spirit. And for somebody to say, you know what, that story touched me and I want to go help this family, or maybe I want to go learn more about this kid and what his life was like and who he is. Because I'll be honest with you, when we have these events, I would say there's maybe 25% of the people that never met Gavin. And that's okay.
Right.
They don't have to. And in all fairness, too, it can even be used for service hours. If there are scouts that would like to come and they need service hours, National Honor Society kids, Key Club kids, church services, any of those things, this does count for that, too. And who knows, you might walk away with your spirit a little bit touched and elevated, because that's what this day is about. It's a terrible story that got us to this point, but I am so proud of Gavin, and I am so proud that he is my motivation for doing good things.
I love it. You're fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
And okay, so how does this, when you see everybody come out there, your heart just must be filled.
Oh, it's really odd in a way. It kind of it breaks every time.
Right. And
when it breaks, it gets bigger. So
I see.
Yeah, my heart is just, it's overwhelming. Right. It's overwhelming. I mean, and the tears come now partly because of the sadness, sure, but also because of the gratitude. I live my life now with so much gratitude for the good that is out there. And if going through something like this helps me help other people, then that's the silver lining.
And I commend you for that, because I know that no one should lose a child, right? Mm-hmm. No, that should never happen.
There's no word for that, by the way.
There isn't? You're not a widower, you're
not an orphan. There's there's a word for other people that lose. There's no word.
You know what? I heard that.
Yeah.
My sister passed, and my parents, they did that. There's no word for that.
Yeah.
But one of the most heartbreaking things, and I've seen firsthand what it does to families, and how it can completely, like, you at the end of the day, we have choices, right? We come, you do stuff like this, and you use it as inspiration to do what he probably would want everybody to do and get out and live like he lived, right? But there are different ways to do it, and I'm happy that you've chosen this and be surrounded by great people too.
Thank you. And I'm really happy that people continue to show up.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, we'll keep doing this as long as people continue to show up for it.
Yes.
Because I think we all walk away a little bit taller, a little bit more proud of ourselves when we do good things.
Oh.
So let's do it.
Yes. You couldn't say it any better. And I think there's a lot to be said that the what's the word I'm looking for? Your quality of your life through acts of service could be, there's nothing that could be more fulfilling than that. Mm-hmm. It's not about how much money you make or whatever. Right. Like, you can do stuff. This is stuff that everybody can do. You just have an open heart and to get out and do it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
Anything else that we want to mention?
I think that's about it.
I appreciate your vulnerability, sharing a story with us also.
Well, and when you and I talked about this beforehand, I said, I can talk about the hard things. Yeah. I can talk about, the facts of the accident and things like that. It's when I start to think about what could have been or should have been and what he should be doing right now. Yeah. Those are the things that break my heart and get a little bit harder to talk about. But I have to share one
absolutely
quote that really sums things up for me, and it really changed my perspective. Anderson Cooper has a podcast about grief. And in his first season, he had Stephen Colbert on. And for anybody who doesn't know, when Stephen Colbert was 10 years old, he lost his father and two of his brothers in a plane crash. And that he said that his life was, before the accident, was black and white, and then everything after was in color, because he just doesn't remember those things before. And something that he said in that podcast that really honestly changed my perspective a few months after the accident was, if you're grateful for your life, you have to be grateful for all of it, even the things you most wish had not happened. Because going through this has opened up my heart and my ability to have empathy and to let people in and to say yes, when otherwise I might have said, I don't know if I can do that, or I don't know if I can afford that, I don't know if I can take the time. My default answer now is yes. And my two remaining kids are the benefactors of that as well. My default answer with them is yes. Go do the things. Go try and fail. Go try and succeed. Try it all, because you're here to do it. So I carry that quote with me from Stephen Colbert, that I obviously I would give everything on heaven and earth to change what happened to Gavin. Yes. But I can't. So this is how I choose to move forward in my life, with an open heart, a broken open heart, and that positivity and that willingness to say yes when opportunities come up.
Yes.
So I hope that this also inspires other people, because that's what my life is about now.
Yes. Yes, and making every moment count, right?
Yeah.
And seizing those moments that you may never get back again.
Yeah. And also giving myself some grace when I have those days where I just need to lay on the couch and cry.
Yes.
And that's okay too.
You have all of my permission. You're like, yes. And sometimes that's what you need, right?
Yeah.
But that we wouldn't be sane if we didn't just take some time to cry and just let it out.
But I can't stay there.
Right.
I'm not going to honor his life if I just stay there. So my goal when my life is ended is that he'll be there to greet me, and he will give me the biggest hug, and he'll say, Mom, I'm so proud of you. That's my goal.
So right now, everybody type in theshortpeople.com/Gavin and sign up and really bring a legacy of helping people in a day of service along. So I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share his story and to share what our family does. So it would be great.
Yes. Okay, so I'm asking people to support, and I would love the 4th annual, and what a great title for it, the Day of Cheerful Service, right?
Yep.
All right, well, thank you again, Beth. I appreciate you. So, guys, anywhere you guys are listening, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, because every Tuesday you'll have the opportunity to meet somebody new from our town, whether it's a cause, whether it's a public figure, whatever that is. But as we always end, and today, I think this message fits better than most days. I always end with, I want people to get out there and do 1 or 2 different random acts of kindness, whether it's just smiling at somebody coming down the road. And this is one of those things that, I could see you in public, and I have no idea what you went through, right?
Absolutely.
But when people are just kind for absolutely no reason, right, as we all should be, because it's really easy to do, can change people's days around.
I remember Maya Angelou. I think it's Maya Angelou, that people won't remember what you did. They won't remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Right.
There you go.
It's true. It really is. All right. So, hey, there's a little nudge for you to get out there and do something good today. And take care of those people. And maybe, one of my favorite things, too, is, pick up the phone and text somebody who's lonely, right? Or make a phone call to, a family member that you haven't talked to in a while. So do something. It's so simple, because once you decide to do it, it can change a lot of things. So
just say yes.
That's right. And there. So today, everybody say yes, too. Thank you very much again. Grayslake, thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. So there is information right in here for April the 25th to honor Gavin. So check it out. You have any questions, you can reach me. You can reach anything through here. Grayslake, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next Tuesday, everyone.